This video covers our September road trip to 7 national parks in 2024. Smoky Mountain, Death Valley, Hot Spring, Congaree, just to name a few. One of the reasons we came to the Great Smoky Mountain was to see black bears in close distance. It didn't disappoint us since there were a couple of them by the roadside when we drove near the Cades Cove Visitor Center upon our first day arrival. We then sighted about 10 of them in the next couple of days while we stayed at Cades Cove Campground and drove the loop multiple times. This mama bear left her 2 cups on the tree. Our first hike was Abram Falls near the Cades Cove Visitor Center. It was an easy 5-mile hike. We then hiked a small section of the Lynn Camp Prong Cascades Trail and enjoyed the forest and never-ending cascades by the trail side. We have always wanted to have a taste of the Appalachian Trail. Here we are at the trailhead towards Charles Bunyan via AT. So excited. This is an 8-mile round trip with a total of close to 1,900 elevation gain trail. We started in the morning, and the mountains have been covered by fog in many areas. This is a shelter for the through hikers, a very solid structure and must be super helpful for the rainy nights. We met a through hiker on the trail, and he was literally running. He told us that he has about 200 miles to complete the entire AT trail. What an accomplishment! We were so impressed by this guy, and actually everyone who tried. Still very foggy, but the silhouette of the mountains in the far distance are still visible. We were glad to reach our destination. What's remaining was to complete the return trip. At 6,600 feet, Clingman's Dome is the highest peak in the Smokies. Up on the observation tower, there is an unobstructed 360 view of the surrounding mountains on a clear day. Andrews Bald is the highest bald in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, reaching an elevation of 5,800 feet. By the end of the trail, it offers breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains and is a premier destination for hikers seeking panoramic vistas. The Bald is a grassy meadow, perfect for picnicking or simply taking in the scenery. The Chimney Tops Trail is a popular hike in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Tennessee. It's a strenuous 3.3-mile out-and-back trail with an elevation gain close to 1,500 feet, featuring panoramic mountain views and beautiful streams. However, the last quarter mile of the trail has been closed since the fire damage several years ago, and hikers can only view the chimney from distance rather than climbing to the top of it. It was up, up, and up on the outbound. The return should be a breeze, all downhill. The wildfire made the damage to the trees and the roots on the peak, which caused the rock foundation no longer stable, as there was less for the rocks to grip on. Besides black bears, deers, eagles, and turkeys, we also sighted elks near the Sugar Land Visitor Center and outside Smokemont Campground. Deep Creek Loop Trail offers several waterfalls: Jenny Whack Falls, Indian Creek Falls, and Tom Branch Falls. It was a rainy day, but hey, it won't make much difference since we are seeing the falls anyway. The Death Valley National Park, the hottest place on Earth, with a recorded high temperature of 134 Fahrenheit in 1913. It is actually the largest national park in America, excluding Alaska and Hawaii. Here is Badwater Basin. The elevation measures 282 feet below sea level, which makes it the lowest place in North America. The first time stepping on the vast salt flats felt surreal. Probably the most beautiful place during our short visit was Artist Palette. The colors of the landscape were truly spectacular. The bright, straight sunlight could not reflect its true beauty. Borax was some of the most profitable ore mined in the area. The remaining site shows the historic 20-mule team wagon and processing equipments. The Golden Canyon Trail, we just walked a short section at the beginning as it was so hot. This is the Mesquite Flat Sand Dune. Finally, the Rainbow Canyon is also part of the military training site for low-level navigation. We will be back to Death Valley Park when the temperature gets into the comfy 70s. Bathhouse Row is a key part of the Hot Spring National Park in Arkansas. There are a total of 8 bathhouses built between 1892 and 1923. Not all 8 of them are still operating as bathhouse, but there are still some that are open to public for people to enjoy bathing in the thermal springs in one of these historic architecture buildings. We have tried buckstaff baths, and it definitely was both a relaxing and enjoyable experience. thermal spring water is free to anyone and can be accessed in many fountains around the park. Besides the rich thermal springs, there are many hiking trails in the park at Hot Springs Mountain and West Mountain. New River Gorge became a national park in 2020. This river is actually older than the Appalachian Mountains. For most of its 53 miles of whitewater, it has served the human needs of the southern Appalachian region in its recent history. Spanning New River near Fayetteville is the New River Gorge Bridge at 876 feet. It is the third highest bridge in the U.S. Congaree National Park received its official designation in 2003 as the culmination of a grassroots campaign that began in 1969. This park protects the largest remnant of old-growth floodplain forests in the United States. You can easily identify loblolly pine trees in the forest based on its typical shape. The bald cypress tree has a broad base, and the complex root system helps hold it steady during a flood. The short trunk looking surrounding these bald cypress trees are called the knees, which might also help stabilize the tall cypress trees. Mammoth Cave National Park sits in south-central Kentucky. It encompasses portions of Mammoth Cave, the longest known cave system in the world. Needless to say that this is a perfect place to experience the total darkness. The bottomless pit. The Gateway Arch is a 630-foot-tall monument in St. Louis, Missouri. It is the world's tallest arch and Missouri's tallest accessible structure. You can take the tram up the arc and get the bird's eye view of the city through these viewing ports. This was definitely another memorable National Park Discovery road trip for us, and thank you for viewing.